The 5 Live hit list, compiled exclusively for 5 Live by Cosmos.
Number 2.
It's an asteroid and a pop legend. Well, this week, Freddie Mercury has had his own shooting star named after him. Celebrations to mark what would have been his 70th birthday received a cosmic boost with the naming of an asteroid in his honour. And before I go to the person who made that happen, Ellen Mills, still with me in the studio, revealing your top 2 stories of the week. Did you say you had a joke in this arena?
Is this real life or just fantasy? The asteroid will rock you.
Oh dear. You can tell you work for newspapers.
Fat bottom girls, you make the rocking world go round.
Very good. Applause, applause, applause. Have you had anything named after you we should know about?
No, not yet. No, but he's already got a planet, hasn't he? He's Freddie Mercury.
Oh, okay, of course. That's a very good point. Well, let me bring up, the puns keep coming. The person who helped make this happen, astronomer Joel Parker, who joins me now. Hello, Joel.
Hello, Emma. How are you doing?
Actually, Ellen has just made a very good point about the planet, Mercury. You didn't need to do this.
Indeed.
No, but jokes aside, what gave you the idea to name this asteroid after Freddie Mercury?
Well, it actually started back in January when David Bowie died, and Brian May had posted a nice tribute to David on his webpage, and I noticed just because this is what I do, looked and noticed that David Bowie had an asteroid named after him the previous year, and Freddie did not. And I thought that was definitely a significant oversight. So I brought this up to Brian, and he thought it was a good idea. So we worked on it for a few months to make it happen for his 70th birthday.
How do you work on getting an asteroid named after somebody? I mean, I don't really know what goes into that.
Yeah, it's not an everyday thing. When somebody discovers an asteroid, they have the opportunity to suggest a name for it. Unlike a comet, the comet actually gets named after you if you discover it. So if someone discovers an asteroid, they can recommend a name and a citation to the International Astronomical Union. They actually have a working group.
I'm just going to write this down for when I want to name one after my husband.
Future reference, yes. Keep this in mind. The group is the Small Bodies Nomenclature, and they take these recommendations, and if they approve it, then it's a done deal, and the asteroid is officially named.
Okay, and so when does this actually, is it named now already? Has this happened?
It is. Okay. We worked it out so that the naming was officially made and published within minutes of when Brian made his announcement at Freddie's birthday party in Montreux.
Okay, and the asteroid was actually discovered in 91, wasn't it? The year Freddie Mercury died.
That's true. The working group in the International Astronomical Union is very good at picking asteroids that have some good meaning to them. This asteroid was discovered in 1991. As you said, the year Freddie died. It had the special designation 1991 FM3. We always give asteroids these designations when they're first discovered. So the FM, just coincidentally, for Freddie Mercury, and 1991 for the year he died, so it seemed like a very nice match.
Okay, so can we see this asteroid if we look up on a clear night?
You could see it if you had eyes that were about 10 times larger than what you probably have.
I'm doing really well on this programme asking smart questions about science and space, but go on.
Yes, it's about 10,000 times fainter than what you could see with your eye on a dark night. So you would need a telescope, not a big telescope, but it is certainly visible with the telescope. And yes, you can indeed see him leaping through the sky.
Well, that's a lovely thought for obviously fans of Freddie Mercury. I've been told that other people who've got asteroids named after them, is this right? Brian May, the Beatles, David Bowie, and the author Douglas Adams, to name but a few.
Indeed. A lot of the people who discover asteroids after they finish naming after their kids and family start naming after favorite authors or musicians. Jimi Hendrix has one, as you said, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, you name it.
Okay. So any women?
There certainly are women asteroid names. And of course, you have Venus up there as well. So, Venus and Mercury get to do their dancing close to the sun.
I'm just putting it out there. Maybe we need a few more women that are being put there. Eleanor, you listening to this with me in the studio here. Do you feel, when you remember Freddie Mercury and you think about what he was, I mean, were you a big Queen fan? Is that a big thing for you?
It was a reasonably big thing. I've done a bit of jumping around to that. And Fat Bottom Girls is a big favourite in our family.
Okay, and in terms of when you're editing a newspaper and you're looking across and these sorts of stories come up, I mean, space is hugely popular with our listeners here and with readers. Do you see a renewed interest in that? Because all throughout doing this programme for the last 2 years, I'm fascinated by how much the solar system has come up time and time again.
I think that's really true. I think there's a real sense of a new age of space exploration. I think a lot the new kind of squillionaire Silicon Valley lot who are setting up trying to set up private space fleets, and Richard Branson. I think all of that's really fired people's imaginations, and also the incredible photographs that we've been getting back from all those things which are orbiting planets far away. And I always think those pictures are amazing. You really get a sense that you're really seeing things that people have never seen before. So I think, and also talk of another manned flight to Mars. I think we're getting there. And there was all the excitement just before, back in the 60s, 70s, that this was all going to become very real. And kind of for our generation, it hasn't. And yet it's coming back again. And there's been some great movies recently as well, haven't there?
There has. Well,
Martian, Gravity. There's been some things which have really sparked people's imagination. So I'm not surprised kids are now interested too.
Joel, somebody said to me the other day that there hasn't been anything discovered in our lifetimes per se. There have been things discovered, but not to the same level as there once was. What would you say to that?
I would disagree. We discovered a whole new area of the solar system in the 1990s we didn't know existed, called the Kuiper Belt, which is out beyond the orbit of Neptune. And in fact, Pluto, poor Pluto, everyone says, oh, it's not a planet anymore. It is actually the king of the Kuiper Belt. And I worked on the mission that just flew by Pluto. The images that came back from that were astounding, surprised everyone. They were beautiful.
Everybody loved those. I mean, that was in this chart. It rode very high. I will pass that message back to the man who I believe may have been connected to NASA. So you've put him right there. Joel Parker, thank you very much for coming on and explaining how you do indeed get an asteroid named after yourself. And certainly if you're Freddie Mercury, it seemed like the very fitting thing to do. So congratulations on getting that through.